What's up guys, it's SCG here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to change your online ID and your username on your PlayStation 5 console. Now before I start the tutorial, I just want to go over the differences between an online ID and a username. So basically, your username on your PlayStation is the name that you are going to see whenever you log in or navigate around your PlayStation 5 menu. It's also what your friends will see if you enable real name sharing. So it's kind of like your actual real name, but you can change it to whatever you want and it does not cost anything when you change it. Now your online ID, on the other hand, is more of your actual account name. So your PSN account is linked to that online ID. Your ID is also what everyone else sees online. So whenever you're in an online game or an online match, all the other players are going to see your online ID, not your username. That even includes your friends if they don't have real name sharing enabled. And because it's viewed by more players and more people, there are more limitations to what you can put in your online ID. Your ID has to follow the PlayStation guidelines and it has to be approved before it is officially changed. It also costs you money to change your online ID, so after your first change, which is free, every other change after is going to cost you $5 if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber, and then $10 if you are not. So now that that is cleared up, let's get into the actual tutorial. Now there are a few different ways we can change our online ID and our username. The obvious method is to just change it on your PlayStation 5, which I'll be showing first, but we can also change it via the PlayStation website. If we want, we can even change it on the PlayStation 4. I have a video linked down below on how to do that, but because this is a PlayStation 5 tutorial, I'll just be showing the PlayStation 5 method. So from the home screen, be sure you're logged in to the user that you actually want to give the name change to. Then from here we go to settings, down to users and accounts. Then in the account tab right here, go down to profile. And in here, the first two options are the ones we really care about. So first I'm going to change my username. So like I said, this is the name that we're going to see whenever we log in or whenever we see our user on our own PlayStation 5. This is going to appear. So PlayStation formats it like it's our actual name, but we don't have to make it our actual name. We can change it to something like this. We can have a middle name if we want to have that. There is a 16 character limit to what we can actually put in here. So be sure you're not putting something crazy long as your username. So once you have a username you like, you can just press confirm and your name will be changed and it'll appear everywhere on your PS5. Now the online ID change is a little bit more complicated. So because this is more like our official user ID, we do have to go through a few more steps to change it. So if I head in here, first we have to agree to a few things. The first being that we may possibly lose all of our data if we change our online ID. Basically because our online ID acts as our just main username on all of PlayStation's online servers. If we change our online ID, some of our data may become inaccessible because the servers do not know who we are. Now none of my games have this issue, but just in case you're worried about losing all of your data, I do have a list linked down below of all the games that are incompatible with an online ID change. So be sure you read all this. Be sure to check and double check to be sure that all your games are compatible with this, and then once you're sure, press accept. It's also going to ask you to save all the progress on all the different consoles you have, so make sure the games you have are closed. Anything that you're in the process of doing, make sure that it is finished. If you're downloading something, be sure it's done downloading or pause the download. Make sure there's nothing in progress while you're doing this. Keep that in mind along with the fact that you may lose all your data. And another thing to keep in mind, like they say here, changing your online ID back may not actually fix the issue. So even if you did lose your data, changing your ID back to what it was originally may not actually fix it. So make sure, double, triple check that everything is saved and that no games are incompatible. And then once you're sure, press continue. And then now it's going to ask us to confirm who we actually are. If you have the PlayStation app, then just approve the notification on there, but if you don't, then just put in your password. Alright, so once you're signed in, you'll see a screen like this. If it's your first time, it'll say that your first change is free, obviously, because if you made an error in your username when you first made it, you might want to change it. For example, I did a Epic Gamer instead of an Epic Gamer 69, so I need to correct that with my new online ID. For some reason, PlayStation likes to suggest weird usernames for you to use. I don't know who would ever select the latest Solids 0 or Hinder Dustbin 7, but if you are the type of person to use that username, more power to you. But I'm just going to make a simple grammatical change here. So I'm going to make mine N Epic Gamer 69_1. The username obviously has to go through an approval. It has to agree with the terms of service, so no sex things or vulgar terms or bad words or anything like that in your username. 69 you can get away with because it's just a number. So once you're done with your username, just press confirm. Obviously double check, triple check, make sure that none of your data is going to be completely deleted before you do this. And once you are 100% sure, press confirm. Now PlayStation does offer you the option to have your old ID appear next to your new ID, just in case your friends get confused. They might wonder who this new NEpicGamer69 guy is, so you might have to put in parentheses next to it what your old username is, just so no one gets confused. I personally would get confused myself if I just changed my username, so I usually do select this option. It goes away after 30 days, so you don't have to worry about it being permanent. And then once you are sure here, just press confirm and sign out. Alright, so now that I'm logged in, I can go back here to my profile information here on the home screen, view my profile, and then boom, there we go. My username right there at the top, my online ID there at the bottom, and in parentheses my old online ID, just so my friends and I do not get confused at my new username. So that about does it for today's tutorial. If you enjoyed, leave a like down below. If you have any questions about this tutorial or the process that I showed you today, be sure to leave all of those down in the comment section. While you're down there, leave any suggestions for future tutorials, any issues you might be having on your PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Switch, PC, PlayStation 4. If you throw it down there in the comments, I will most likely make a tutorial on it. That is how desperate I am right now. So, with that all being said, I've been Steven, your semi-comprehensive guide, and be sure to have a wonderful rest of your day.